Everyone wants to become wealthy. We scroll through social media and see luxury cars, expensive watches, million-dollar homes, and influencers promising that success is just one secret away. Most people believe wealth is something you earn after making enough money, but the Stoics believed the opposite. They understood that money is only a reflection of character. If you don't master yourself first, you'll eventually lose whatever fortune you gain. History proves this. Countless lottery winners become bankrupt within a few years, while disciplined people often build wealth from almost nothing. Why? Because wealth isn't created by luck. It is created by habits. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire on earth, yet he constantly reminded himself that possessions mean nothing if they control the owner. Seneca, one of Rome's richest men, practiced living with very little so that luxury would never own him. Epictetus was born a slave without wealth or status, yet his wisdom has outlived kings and emperors. Their message was simple. Before you become wealthy in your bank account, you must become wealthy in your mind. Today, you'll discover 8 Stoic habits that quietly build wealth every single day. These habits won't promise overnight riches or magical success. Instead, they'll transform the person who earns, saves, invests, and thinks. Because once your character changes, your financial future begins to change with it. By the end of this video, you'll realize that becoming wealthier isn't about chasing money. It's about becoming the kind of person that money naturally trusts. Habit number 1. Spend less than you earn. The first Stoic habit is surprisingly simple, yet almost everyone ignores it. Spend less than you earn. In today's world, success is often measured by how expensive your lifestyle appears. The moment someone gets a raise, they buy a newer car, they upgrade their phone, they move into a bigger apartment. They spend more, not because they need to, but because they feel they deserve it. This is what the Stoics warned against nearly 2,000 years ago. They understood that every unnecessary desire becomes another chain around your freedom. Seneca wrote that it is not the man who has little who is poor, but the one who endlessly desires more. Think about that for a moment. 2 people can earn exactly the same income. One spends every dollar trying to impress others, while the other quietly saves and invests. After 10 years, one is drowning in debt while the other has built financial security. The difference isn't income, it's discipline. The Stoics believe that wealth begins the moment your expenses stop controlling your decisions. Every dollar you don't waste becomes a soldier working for your future. Every unnecessary purchase delays your freedom. Modern society constantly tells you that happiness is one purchase away, but the satisfaction from buying something new rarely lasts. Soon another product replaces it and the cycle begins again. This endless chase is called lifestyle inflation, and it quietly keeps millions of people trapped regardless of how much they earn. The Stoic refuses to play this game. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" they ask, "Do I truly need this?" That single question can completely transform your finances. Real wealth isn't showing everyone what you own. Real wealth is having enough savings that you no longer panic when life becomes difficult. Imagine losing your job tomorrow. Would you survive for 6 months? Most people couldn't, not because they earn too little, but because they spend too much. Financial freedom isn't built through giant leaps. It's built through hundreds of small decisions repeated consistently over many years. Skip the unnecessary purchase. Save the extra income. Invest instead of consuming. Those small choices eventually become extraordinary wealth. The Stoics understood something modern society often forgets. Freedom is far more valuable than luxury. The less money you need to feel content, the richer you already are. Habit number 2. Control your desires before they control you. The second habit goes even deeper. If you cannot control your desires, you will never control your finances. Most people don't lose money because they lack opportunity. They lose it because they constantly chase immediate pleasure. They want the newest gadget, the trendiest clothes, the expensive vacation, the luxury lifestyle they see online. Every advertisement tells you that happiness can be purchased. Every social media post convinces you that everyone else is living better than you. The Stoics saw through this illusion centuries ago. Epictetus taught that freedom comes from wanting less, not owning more. Think about how powerful that idea is. If your happiness depends on things outside your control, you'll always be vulnerable. But if your happiness comes from discipline and gratitude, nothing can take it away. This doesn't mean money is bad. The Stoics never believed wealth itself was evil. They believed attachment was dangerous. Money should serve you, never become your master. Imagine two wealthy individuals. One constantly worries about losing everything. They obsess over every investment, compare themselves to richer people, and never feel satisfied. The second appreciates what they have, lives below their means, and understands that their identity isn't tied to their possessions. Which one is truly wealthy? The answer is obvious. The first person owns millions but lives like a prisoner. The second owns peace of mind. Every time you resist an unnecessary impulse purchase, you're strengthening your self-control. Every time you delay gratification, you're training your future self to become stronger than your present desires. This is how wealth quietly compounds, not only financially but mentally. The strongest investors aren't simply the smartest, they're the most patient. They know how to ignore short-term excitement in exchange for long-term rewards. The Stoics practiced this every day. They voluntarily embraced discomfort to remind themselves they didn't need luxury to be happy. When you stop chasing every desire, something incredible happens. Your savings grow faster, your stress decreases, your confidence increases because you're no longer controlled by impulse. The world wants you to become an emotional consumer. Stoicism teaches you to become a rational creator. One path empties your wallet, the other quietly builds your future. Habit number 5, master delayed gratification. One of the biggest differences between people who build lasting wealth and those who constantly struggle is their relationship with pleasure. Most people cannot wait. They want rewards immediately. They want the newest phone, the newest car, the expensive vacation, and the appearance of success long before they have actually earned it. The Stoics believed this weakness enslaves a person. Every time you choose instant pleasure over long-term benefit, you give away a little more control over your future. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that discipline is freedom. Every unnecessary purchase may feel small, but hundreds of small decisions become a financial destiny. Wealth grows when you repeatedly choose tomorrow over today. This doesn't mean never enjoying your money. It means asking a simple question before every purchase. Will this make my future stronger, or does it only satisfy today's emotions? Successful investors understand this. Entrepreneurs understand this. They sacrifice comfort now so they can experience greater freedom later. Delayed gratification is not about suffering. It is about choosing larger rewards instead of smaller ones. Every dollar invested today becomes many dollars tomorrow. Every hour spent learning a valuable skill creates opportunities for years to come. Imagine two people earning exactly the same salary. One spends every bonus on entertainment and luxury items. The other invests every bonus into assets that appreciate over time. 5 years later, their lives look completely different, not because of income, but because of discipline. The Stoics understood that self-control compounds just like money. Every disciplined decision makes the next disciplined decision easier. Eventually, discipline becomes your identity rather than something you force yourself to do. Financial freedom begins long before your bank account changes. It begins the moment you stop asking, "What do I want today?" and start asking, "What kind of life am I building for the next 10 years?" That single mindset shift separates those who become wealthy from those who remain trapped chasing temporary pleasures. Habit number 6. Build multiple sources of value. The Stoics believed that true security never comes from depending on one thing. A person whose happiness depends on one relationship is vulnerable. A person whose confidence depends on one achievement is vulnerable. The same principle applies to money. Depending on a single paycheck for your entire financial future creates unnecessary risk. If that income disappears, everything disappears with it. Wealthy people think differently. They constantly create additional sources of value. This doesn't always mean starting multiple businesses. It could mean learning high-income skills, building investments, creating digital products, freelancing, consulting, teaching, or owning assets that generate income even while they sleep. Every new skill increases your value in the marketplace. Every investment creates another opportunity for future income. The Stoics focused on strengthening what was within their control, and your ability to create value is always within your control. Markets change, employers change, technology changes, but a person who continually learns, adapts, and solves problems will always remain valuable. Seneca believed fortune favors the prepared mind. Preparation today becomes opportunity tomorrow. Don't ask, "How can I make more money?" Ask, "How can I become more valuable?" The second question automatically answers the first. Companies pay for solutions. Clients pay for expertise. Customers pay for convenience. The more problems you can solve, the more opportunities naturally come your way. Wealth is rarely built from luck alone. It is built from continuously increasing your ability to create value for others. Instead of spending every evening consuming entertainment, spend some evenings building skills that your future self will thank you for. Learn communication, learn investing, learn marketing, learn leadership, learn technology. Every new ability becomes another income opportunity. The Stoics knew that external circumstances are unpredictable, but an educated, disciplined, adaptable person can thrive almost anywhere. The greatest investment you will ever own is not your house, your business, or your portfolio. It is your own ability to create value wherever you go. Habit number 7. Think long-term, not short-term. One of the greatest advantages wealthy people have isn't intelligence, it's perspective. While most people make decisions based on what feels good today, the Stoics trained themselves to think years into the future. They understood that today's actions are tomorrow's results. Every financial decision is like planting a seed. Some seeds grow into towering trees that provide shade for decades. Others never take root because they were chosen for quick satisfaction instead of lasting value. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that life is built one day at a time. A single disciplined day may seem insignificant, but thousands of disciplined days create an extraordinary life. Imagine standing at the edge of two roads. One offers immediate pleasure but little progress. The other requires patience and sacrifice, yet leads to lasting freedom. Every day, your choices quietly move you toward one of those roads. This is why wealthy people often appear patient. They don't panic during temporary setbacks because they're focused on where they'll be 5, 10, or 20 years from now. They understand that true wealth compounds slowly. Investments grow over decades, businesses mature over years, skills become valuable through consistent practice, relationships strengthen through time. The Stoics believed that nature itself teaches patience. A mighty oak tree doesn't grow overnight. Neither does financial freedom. Every wise financial decision is a vote for your future self. Every unnecessary expense is a vote for temporary satisfaction. Before making an important decision, ask yourself, will this matter 5 years from now? That question immediately filters out distractions and helps you focus on what truly creates lasting wealth. Short-term thinking creates temporary comfort. Long-term thinking creates lasting freedom. Number 8. Measure wealth by freedom, not possessions. The final Stoic habit may be the most important of them all. Society constantly tells you that wealth is measured by the size of your house, the brand of your car, the watch on your wrist, or the number in your bank account. The Stoics completely rejected this idea. To them, the richest person wasn't the one who owned the most. It was the one who needed the least. Seneca, despite being one of the wealthiest men in Rome, regularly lived simply to remind himself that happiness was never dependent on luxury. He knew that if your peace depends on expensive possessions, those possessions eventually become your master. Imagine two individuals. One earns millions but lives under constant pressure to maintain an extravagant lifestyle. Every month they worry about bills, debt, appearances, and keeping up with everyone around them. The second person earns far less, but has no debt, lives below their means, invests consistently, and wakes up every morning without financial anxiety. Which person is truly wealthy? The answer has very little to do with income. Wealth is freedom. Freedom to spend time with your family, freedom to choose meaningful work instead of desperate work, freedom to walk away from unhealthy situations because you aren't financially trapped, freedom to sleep peacefully at night without constant worry. Money should expand your choices, not increase your fears. This is why Stoicism teaches contentment rather than endless consumption. Contentment doesn't kill ambition. It gives ambition a healthy purpose. Instead of chasing money for status, you begin building wealth for freedom. Instead of buying things to impress strangers, you invest in experiences, skills, and opportunities that improve your life. When your definition of wealth changes, your financial decisions naturally change with it. You stop asking, "How can I look rich?" and begin asking, "How can I become financially free?" That single shift in mindset has transformed countless lives. Now take a step back and look at these 8 Stoic habits together. Spend less than you earn, control your desires before they control you, invest in knowledge before chasing money, protect your time like your greatest asset, master delayed gratification, build multiple sources of value, think long-term instead of living for today, and finally, measure wealth by freedom, not by possessions. At first glance, these habits seem simple, almost too simple, but that's exactly why they work. The greatest transformations rarely come from dramatic changes. They come from small, wise decisions repeated every single day. Imagine two people beginning their lives with exactly the same income. One spends impulsively, seeks approval through expensive possessions, wastes time, and lives only for today. The other follows these 8 Stoic habits. They save consistently, learn continuously, invest patiently, practice self-control, protect their time, think years ahead. 10 years later, they are living completely different lives, not because one was luckier, not because one was smarter, but because one mastered habits while the other chased impulses. That is the quiet power of Stoicism. It teaches that every decision shapes your character, and your character shapes your future. Marcus Aurelius understood that no amount of money can purchase peace of mind. Epictetus proved that a person with very little can still be incredibly rich in wisdom. Seneca showed that wealth becomes dangerous only when it begins to own its owner. The lesson is timeless. Money is a tool. Character is the foundation. Without character, wealth disappears. With character, wealth becomes easier to build and far easier to keep. So before this video ends, ask yourself one question. Which of these 8 Stoic habits will you begin practicing today? Don't try to change everything overnight. Choose one, master it, then build the next. Because lasting wealth isn't created by one lucky moment. It's created by thousands of disciplined decisions that nobody else sees. If this video gave you a new perspective on money, success, and freedom, leave a comment below and tell us which Stoic habit resonated with you the most. And if you're ready to build not only greater wealth, but also greater wisdom, discipline, and inner peace, subscribe to MindFoundry for more timeless philosophy, Stoic lessons, and practical ideas that help you become stronger in every area of life. Remember, the richest person is not the one who has the most, but the one who has mastered themselves.